Test, 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 test.
Yeah.
Make sure you pull in audio from camera one, or with camera, we'll have this as.
Oh, what about I think it's like that. I like to go with mama.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, I need somebody to press. Just count me in when we go live. Press it there. Press it again. I realize they don't want to have other screens like that. You ready? Hey everyone, welcome to EQ Live. Now this is a monthly live series where the goal is simple, to share my experiences and add real value across all areas of your personal, professional, financial, and fitness goals so that you can use this year to really lock in and become the best version of yourself. This isn't about motivation, this is about execution. And tonight, I'm breaking down my goal setting framework. Practical system that you can use to move the needle, not just feel inspired for a moment. It's a system that I've been using for years, and actually my entire team over at Lifestyles Digital Media Group uses as well. So we're going to talk about why having a theme for this year is also one of the most powerful ways to stay focused, eliminate distractions, and keep moving even when the motivation fades. And so I'm happy for your time and attention. I know we did get started a bit late, but we're locked in. So now let's get to work. Okay, now when we're talking about the goal setting framework, right? You know, it always gets me when people don't even realize the importance of setting goals. But one of the, and so one of the things is that, sorry. Okay. So the thing is that roughly 70% of all people actually don't set clear goals at all, right? And out of the set who do set goals, 30% of them don't even write them down. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that people can make. And so as we get into 2026, we want to talk about why this year requires super intentionality, right? But before we get into the actual goals, before we get into the strategies and the numbers, I really want us to focus and anchor. And that's why the yearly theme, your theme, ladies and gentlemen, really is the foundation for everything else that follows, okay? Now, let's talk about why most people actually fail at goal setting. Like I said, roughly 70% of people don't even set clear goals at all, right? They kind of hope to improve, they hope things will get better, but in actuality, hope is not a strategy. And of the 70% of people who don't set, of the 30% of the people who actually do set goals, less than 30% of them actually write them down. And so most goals just live rent-free in people's heads. And we know that writing it down is the second step of manifestation, right? Because you're bringing it from the intangible realm of the mind and putting it into the physical realm. Now, when we talk about what is the biggest mistake that people make as it relates to goals, it isn't so much so that the goals are so big that they can't reach it. It's actually the opposite. It's actually because they set their goals too low. They set goals that don't take them outside of their comfort zone. They set goals that aren't going to stretch them. And they set goals that really aren't going to force them to change who they are now for who they really want to grow to be. And so going back to the writing down of the goals, why is this important? Writing down goals is important because studies consistently show that when you write your goals down, you are 33 to 42% more likely to achieve them. Let's revisit that. You're 33 to 42% more likely to achieve your goals by simply writing them down. And so most people aren't actually underachieving because they lack the potential. They are underachieving and not being successful with accomplishing their goals and their dreams because they lack structure. And that's one of the things that we are aiming to give you tonight. And so no written goal means that there's no standard, and no standard means that there's no accountability. And I'll tell you this, I don't just write down my goals. I actually go through the process of printing them out. They're in my office. I frame them. And I have my theme for the year printed out in my office where I can see it every day at home. And it's framed as well. And so writing your goals down, having a theme, these things are all foundational to actually being successful in attaining your goals. Now, even when your goals are written, most people still fail because they're chasing this goal without this anchor. And the anchor is the yearly theme. And the reason this is important, the anchor is because it gives your goals direction, it filters your decisions, and it keeps you focused when motivation disappears. Now, if you are somebody that writes your goals down, or if you've already written your goals down for 2026, I just want you to put written, the word written, in the chat. And if you haven't done it, grab a pen and paper and write them down quickly now. But by the end of this live, we do hope that it is the intention that you will actually have everything that you need to achieve your goals. Now, remember, having an annual theme, having a yearly theme, or your theme for the year is theme equals filter, filter equals focus, and theme equals filter, focus, and standard. Now, when we talk about filter, it really is a decision-making filter. If the question comes up that, is this in alignment with my theme? Is this in alignment with my goals? Am I acting consistently with my theme? If the answer is no, then you don't do it. When you're talking about standards, like case in point, so my theme for this year is locked in 2026. So I'm locked in. And so if I find that I am getting distracted with things that are not going to move me closer to where it is that I want to be, asking myself, am I locked in, is going to serve as a filter. Is doing this thing going to cause me to lock in, or is it going to distract me? When you're talking about the behavioral standard, is doing this thing going to, is my behavior in the moment consistent with being locked in, or is it scattered and all over the place? And so whenever I feel like I'm drifting and getting distracted, I go back to my theme, EQ, lock in. Y'all with me? If y'all, give me a thumbs up in the chat if y'all are with me. So, for me personally, the goals actually fall into four main categories. We call them the PPFF goals. So that's P is for personal, professional, financial, and fitness. Now, these are my actual goals for 2026, right? Under personal goals, I want to write my book, Get Uncomfortable. You all know that Get Uncomfortable is literally, I have it tattooed on my arm. It's something that I live by. It is one of my previous year's themes. The next thing is that I want to buy two brand new vehicles, one for me, one for my lovely wife. I was just telling one of my team members today that I haven't bought a new to me vehicle or a new vehicle in about 12 years. And I think it's about time for me to get something, not because I just want material things, but the vehicle that I have now, it's old. My wife's vehicle, as nice as it is, it's older, and so I really want to get something new. And so the next goal under my personal goals is to secure an income-generating piece of real estate. All right? And so when we look at personal goals, our personal goals really are things that are important to us, well, obviously personally, right? And so let me just share with you something here. All right. And so personal goals, these are things that are important to you, obviously, personally. When we talk about our professional goals, whether you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, or you're an employee, you should want to have professional goals. So my professional goals is to position Lifestyles and EQ as the #1 brands in branding and content creation for corporate and executive brands. Your professional goals should be something that's more in alignment with what it is that you want to achieve in your professional life. That could be, if you're an employee, that could be getting a promotion, that could be learning a new skill that adds value to your organization. If you're a business owner, maybe you're self-employed, you're a one-man band or one-woman band, so that may be bringing on your first teammate. I know my professional goals for last year was to expand my team and expand my studio space. And I'm happy to say that we accomplished that. You know, I brought on 4 new full-time team members, and we expanded our extended team to a team of about 9. And so we have a total of about 16 team members between our core team members and our extended team. And so that was a professional goal of mine, right? Financial goals, of course, you know, it comes down to the money. And even though I didn't achieve my financial goals last year, I actually 10x'd my financial goals this year. And so my financial goals is I want to do 10 million in gross revenues for Lifestyles and for my real estate business. And I want to fund a $1 million investment fund for things that I want to do. And because I feel that fitness is the foundation, so a healthy and fit body houses a healthy and fit mind, obviously I have a fitness goal, and my team has a fitness goal. So my fitness goal is I want to get down to about 224 pounds at 8% body fat. And I have this year to do that. And then I want to do, by summer, I want to do a fitness photo shoot. And so I really feel that if you are able to find at least one goal in each of these areas, you are setting yourself up for success. And once you have your theme locked in, these goals are going to be even that much easier. Well, not even easier, but it's the likelihood of you accomplishing them are going to be more. And so I'm locked in on my personal goals, I'm locked in on my professional goals, I'm locked in on my financial goals, and I'm locked in on my fitness goals. So when we talk about, like I said, personal goals, I told you that that is things that is related to personal. What do you want to accomplish? That could be upskilling. That could be a wide range of stuff. I'm going to call my assistant off camera to help me with some stuff. Pull up the Canva for me, please.
Hi, Shreem.
So when you're talking about like goal setting, and it always gets me when people say that they aren't familiar with goals or they don't set goals. Like I had a conversation with my wife, and we actually, like, I don't remember not ever having goals. I'm sure there was a time when I didn't have goals, but I don't remember not ever having goals. And so, because for me, the goals that I have for myself actually gives me direction. It gives me purpose because I am in pursuit of something. I'm working towards something. And so I'm not just kind of aimlessly floating and existing, right? And I think that's so important when you're talking about just trying to work and become the best version of yourself. And so one of the exercises that my wife and I did a couple of years ago was we did our own unique success blueprint. And what that looked like was we took our biggest win from the previous year and we said, okay, what did we do if we go back and really map out what we did to accomplish this big goal? What was it that we did? And the thing about your success blueprint is that it's unique to you. And the beautiful thing about success is that the principles of success are universal. And so if you're successful in one area of your life, you will definitely, it's easier for you to be successful in another area of your life. And so going in to, actually I could do that. I could pull it up on my phone. Sorry. That actually works, Dev. I think I could pull it up on my phone. Whoops, there you go. So that could go back to that. Yeah. Thank you, Tev. What would I do without her? All right, so when we talk about personal goals, your personal goals focus on personal growth, relationships, and overall well-being. These include areas such as family, friendship, spirituality, hobbies, self-fulfillment, and self-fulfillment. The aim is to 10x your happiness, confidence, and overall quality of your life outside of work. So this is where personal goals are focused on, and outside of finances, okay? Now, when we talk about professional goals, now are objectives that drive your career or business to exceptional levels of success. These include, but are not limited to, promotion, skill mastery, leadership development, or scaling your business. The focus is on taking massive action to achieve results that exceed industry norms. So this is what, when we talk about your professional goals, that's what we're talking about. Now, when we talk about your finance, and when we talk about your financial goals, where did it go? Financial goals are targets related to increasing wealth, managing money better, and achieving financial independence. These can include income milestones, investment growth, debt elimination, or bulking multiple streams of revenue. The goal is to think big and create a legacy of financial abundance. And then your fitness goals are ambitions related to physical health, endurance, strength, and vitality. These include building muscle, reducing body fat, increasing energy, or completing some sort of athletic achievement. The approach is to 10x your discipline, consistency, and physical results to sustain peak performance in all areas of your life. Like I said, a healthy and fit mind houses a healthy and fit body, houses a healthy and fit mind. Now, when we talk about applying your theme across all of the pillars, physical, across all of the pillars, personal, professional, financial, and fitness, what this does is you want to ask yourself, how does this theme define the standards and boundaries? What is the shift required? When you're talking about how it applies to your professional goals, think about the output. Think about the pace. Think about the priorities. Think about eliminating distractions disguised as opportunities. So because I have a goal to get lifestyles to 10 million, that's 8 figures. We haven't done that. That's 10x more than we would have done before, but that is the goal. And so because my theme is locked in, I'm locked in on that goal. So what that looks like in real time is that because I'm locked in, I cannot engage in things that do not move me forward closer to my goal, even though they may seem like opportunities. Somebody says, hey, Ethan, I have this opportunity for you to get in the restaurant business. As fun as that may sound, or open up a cocktail bar, as fun as that may sound, it may sound like a good opportunity, but is that directly aligned with my goals? No, my goal is to build lifestyles in my real estate business into a 10-figure empire. And starting a restaurant business or even opening a gym is not going to help me do that. Okay? And so, if your body doesn't reflect your theme, your goals won't either. And that's why fitness is so important. It's like, we can't say that we want to be the best versions of ourselves if at the end of the day, our physical health and well-being are not where they need to be. And so that's why your physical health is so important. You would hear them say, people say all the time that health is wealth, right? What is it to have all of the financial success, all the accolades, all the business success, all the professional success, if you don't even have the health? You aren't healthy enough to enjoy it. Now, let's talk about execution, right? Let's talk about how do we execute the PPFF framework for goal setting, and how do we constantly check in to our theme, okay? So one of the things I like to do is, and literally I do this daily, I had put it in the car, but I actually got a poster printed out with my theme that like I said, have up in the office. But the questions that I ask is, how did my actions yesterday align with my theme, right? How did the things that I do yesterday align with me being locked in? And you want to check yourself. One of the things that I have also done, and I started doing, is I started vlogging. Deb, bring my vlog camera, please. I started vlogging. And even though it's, so you guys are now on my vlog, but this is a cool way for me to actually hold myself accountable on a wider level as well. Because if I say that I'm going to commit to working out 6 days a week and I'm vlogging every day, I want to be able to demonstrate that I am doing what I said I was going to do. And so being able to monitor and track what it is that you do is going to be important, right? But you want to hold yourself accountable. You want to take ownership of your own process, okay? Now, another thing that you want to do is often just do a temperature check. You know, monthly you want to see where I am. Because how are you going to know that you're getting closer to your goals if you don't track? So if you have a fitness, of one of your fitness goals, like mine is to lose some weight, how am I going to know I'm headed in the right direction if I don't step on the scale in regular intervals? And so what I do is, I do a weigh-in and a check-in every week, but I don't just do a hop on the scale. I actually do photos and a video as well. And one of the other reasons why I love themes as well is because they're so powerful and they actually outperform resolutions. So many times we hear people say, oh, well, you know, I have this New Year's resolution, or these are my New Year's resolutions, and then by February, maybe March, they've already given up, right? But if you have a theme that's strong and that's really resonates with you, it's going to be a lot easier to stay on track. All right? And so, I don't know if we have any questions in the chat, if anybody's on, if you have any questions in the chat. But I love the PPFF goals, and especially something that my wife and I do is and I just shared this with one of my team members and her partner. I said, listen, what we do every year, we do a retreat. So I do my PPFF goals. She does her PPFF goals, and then we come up with PPFF goals that we can do together as a unit. And what that does is, you know, especially in relationships, it's so easy to get caught up and for you to lose your individuality. But if you can clearly demonstrate to your partner what it is that you're trying to achieve, that's one thing. The next part of that we actually do is we state what we need from our partner in order to help us achieve that. And I find that that is so productive on so many different levels, because it really does enable us to really sink in and get tighter. All right, so let me just check this code quick so I can pull this up on my tablet. Right, so don't forget, you can write questions in the chat. We have Tev who's monitoring the chat. And really, you know, I want to help you guys achieve greatness this year on a much higher level than we would have done before. Two, 5, 3. 2, 5, 3, 6. All right, continue. All right, so that's 3, 4, 2, 2, 8, 9. All right, y'all still with me? Y'all have some goals and stuff set? And so, as a business owner, right, I found it very interesting because, like I said, this is something that I do with my team every year. And not only do I do it every year, but every time I bring on a new team member, this is an exercise that I do. We literally have a form, they fill it out. We ask them their PPFF goals over the next 3, 6, and 12 months. And I found it so interesting that especially some of the younger team members, well, all of my team members are young, but I found it especially interesting when so many of them said that they had never been on a job or worked for somebody who actually took the time to do this with them. That was one. And then some of them never actually thought about setting goals. And I thought that was so strange, but understanding now, and it's so refreshing that not only do they have goals, but they're sharing, and they are not afraid anymore to even set big goals. And that's something too, like when you're talking about setting your goals should really, and I said this on my podcast, really when you set goals, the person that you are today should not be able to accomplish the goals that you have set for yourself because they're so big, right? And what you want to do is you want to set a goal that's so big that the person that you are today cannot achieve it. I know for a fact that Ethan Quant EQ today, on this day, standing here on this live with you, is not the person who can achieve a 8-figure business, me today. However, the work that I'm going to do, the systems that I'm going to employ, the strategies, and all of these things, I am going to grow into that person. So by the end of the year, I would have gone through the process of becoming the person who could accomplish these goals. And a big part of that is really adopting the mindset of the person that you want to be, even though you aren't in the circumstance that you want to be. So if you want to be a bodybuilder, you want to have 6-pack abs, you may be 100 pounds overweight. If you adopt the mindset of a bodybuilder today, doing the things, eating healthy, eating in accordance with your meal plan, training every day, working out, getting proper rest, supplementing properly, eventually your body's going to catch up. Same thing if you are overweight. I mean, same thing if you're broke and you want to be wealthy. If you start doing the things that wealthy people do, which is manage your money properly, invest, doing all these different things, eventually you are going to become wealthy, because people have to realize, we have to realize that you don't get the thing then become the person. You become the person, then you get the thing. All right? And so, we allocated some time for Q&A, and I want to give you guys a question. I want to give you guys an opportunity to ask the questions. Any questions, Deb?
Yes, we actually do.
Okay, awesome.
So our first question: when you set goals at the beginning of the year, if you don't accomplish them, how do you stop yourself from not thinking as big or getting discouraged to set big goals?
That's a very good question. And I'll say this. I had my brother-in-law, D'Amico Nesbitt, who's the owner of Fitness Connection, and I asked him pretty much that exact same question. And the thing is that we want to examine why. Like, why didn't we accomplish it, right? Was it because it was too big? Or because one of the things that we have to realize is that if we want to have big goals, we have to take big actions towards them. There's a book that I love called 10X is Easier Than 2X. Because 2X requires you to do more of what you've been doing, to 10X requires you to do something completely different. And honestly, it was that book and a conversation that I had with a dear friend of mine that caused me to want to do this $10 million challenge, because it is 10X. And so since then, like I said, within the last 4 months, not even 4 months, within the last 2.5 months, I brought on 4 new team members. something that if I was just trying to 2x, I wouldn't have done. But because I am trying to 10x, I'm like, okay, well, I'm taking bigger risk. And so we have to realize that when we do have these big goals and big dreams, we have to be prepared to do, if it's 10x the goal, we have to be prepared to do 10 times the work, take 10 times the action, also experience 10 times the adversity. And so what I do is I look at it and I say, okay, well, did I really do everything that I can in the moment in pursuit? Did I really lock in? Did I really commit? And in most instances, the answer is no. But if the answer is yes, then I just continue on that path for the next year. Because when I look back, and Elon Musk has this saying, he said, try to accomplish a 10-year goal in 6 months. He said, in most instances, you're going to fail. But you are going to be further ahead trying to accomplish a 10-year goal in 6 months than you would be chasing a 10-year goal 6 months into it, if that makes sense. So the idea is that, yeah, you're going to fail, but you may not accomplish the big thing, but you're going to be so much further ahead than you would if you were just trying to get the small thing. And I can tell you this, there's nothing worse than setting a goal and then accomplishing it super easy. It's like the goal should stretch you. So that's what I do. I don't lose enthusiasm. I don't lose momentum. And I use what I would have built. And I really assess, non-judgmental, honest assessment. Did I really give it my all? Did I really go after this thing wholeheartedly? Was I compliant? Did I stay on program? Was I locked in? And if the answer is no, then I just recalibrate my actions. So I hope I answered your question, person.
We do have another question.
Okay.
So this person says, I am a jack of all trades. I do everything from real estate, hair, nails, makeup, all of it. How do I know when not to take an opportunity or let my mind run if everything is an opportunity?
I'll tell you this. This is something that because I swear I have ADHD. This is something that I struggle with myself. Because especially for those of us in the creative space, there's so many things that we want to do, right? But this is why having a goal and using the PPFF framework is so important, because if you pull just one goal from those 4 areas, right? And then what I tell people to do is once you have these PPFF goals, find one, look at one. What is that one big thing that if you accomplished it this year, and that's the challenge that I put to you, what is that one thing that if you accomplished this year, you would say that 2026 was an awesome year? And let that be a North Star. And let everything that you're doing be solely designed to get you closer to that. And if you anchor that in your theme, if you're locked in, like my theme is locked in, and my one big thing is that $10 million, right? And so if there's anything that presents itself as an opportunity, or if I have an idea, the first thing I do is I use my theme and my goal as a filter. Is this going to get me closer to this one goal, or the one goal in the 4 different areas, or is it going to detract from it? And if it detracts from it, then I don't do it. And really, it's that simple, but we know that sometimes simple doesn't mean easy, especially if you're somebody that's creative. So my thing would be just learn to say no. And just because it may seem like an opportunity, if it isn't in alignment with what your ultimate goals are, then it's not. It's a distraction. And that's very easy to do. So I hope I answered your question.
A person sent a thumbs up. So we have another question. This person says, what do you do when you have a big goal and vision that you want to accomplish? However, the people around you do not see the vision?
Oh, this is a good one. What do you do when you have a big goal or vision that you want to accomplish, but the people around you don't see the vision? The easiest answer is then change the people around you. But you can't change the people around you. You have to change the people who you're around, right? I think I just told one of my team members this today. I said, you know what? Because they told me that their mother had given them some advice on a way forward, right? And, I love my mother and she's given me a lot of advice. But the question is the person giving you the advice living the life that you want to live? And so I heard Leila Hormozi say, you want to take advice from people who are closest to your goal, not closest to you. And so and oftentimes the people who are closest to us, our friends, our family, especially if we're just starting out, and especially if your goal is that big, they aren't going to be able to fathom how you're going to do this thing, right? Because they themselves haven't done it. But if you talk to somebody who is doing currently what it is that you want to do, so if I talk to 8 and 9 figure business owners and I say I want to get to 8 figures, that doesn't sound like a big number to them because that's their reality. And so they can give me more guidance and advice and mentorship of how I can go about getting that 8-figure business, as opposed to, hey, like you haven't even done 1, how are you trying to do 8? Or you just start, or I think that's too big, or maybe you should only try for 2 or 3, why are you going to 10? And so my advice is, 1, be careful of the people that you share your vision and your dreams with. And oftentimes when people try to discourage you, it's because they are projecting their insecurities on you. And really just I love the idea of just taking advice from people who are closer to your dreams, not people who are close to your dreams, not close to you. Unless the people close to you are close to your dreams. But oftentimes that isn't the case. So I hope I answered your question. I like these questions. These questions are good.
Okay, we have one more question. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. This person says, my goal has been to lose weight for the past 3 years. It has been the same 50 pounds that has been bothering me down. But I am so discouraged. I go to the gym, I eat healthy, but nothing seems to work. But I still am determined to lose this 50 pounds. What do you do to stay encouraged, number 1? And how do you assess when your system is working?
Well, I believe in getting professional help. When I wanted to get my finances right, I hired a financial professional to help me get my stuff right. When I wanted to properly train and scale my team, I hired an HR professional. When I don't feel well, I go to a healthcare professional. And so, even now and that's something that I can relate to, I'm on my fitness journey. And so, I'm using my wife's FlexWard app. She uploaded my program and I'm following things. And so the idea is that, 1, you want to get professional help because sometimes we're so close to the problem in that the problem is us that it's hard for us to assess. So sometimes getting a professional, non-biased third party to do that assessment. So that could be, in your case, a fitness trainer. That could be a personal trainer or a fitness professional. That could be a doctor. You may need to get some medical tests run to see if there's something. And then I would also say like really do a non-judgmental self-assessment, because if we really look back and you're really honest and open and truthful with yourself, have you really done everything? You say you're going to the gym, but how effective are your workouts? You say you're eating healthy, but are you eating for your goals? Are you consistent? Are you sticking to the program or are you deviating? You know, are you locked in? Are you giving it all that you have, or are you kind of just showing up and going through the motions, right? Now, I don't know your unique scenario, but I find that oftentimes I am my greatest enemy. You know, I say I want to lose weight and I eat healthy, but then I don't count the cookies from the office snack drawer. And then I wonder why the scale isn't moving. Or I don't count the extra couple of cocktails that I had on the weekend and I wonder why the scale isn't moving. And so I would say do an assessment of what you have been doing for the last 3 years, and then really employ the help of a professional. Really talk to somebody who is closer to your goals, and see if they can give you some guidance. And sometimes you just have to allocate, you know, resources, financial and otherwise, to really helping you accomplish the goal at hand. And so that may mean making an investment, talking to your medical professional, and trying to get some stuff done. All right, but don't get encouraged. I mean, don't get discouraged. Continue pushing towards the goal, because the goal remains the same. It just may mean that you need to switch up your program.
And I guess that is all the questions from our Q&A session.
All right, and even though we started late, I don't want to go overtime, and so that gives us about 2 more minutes. But guys, my theme is locked in. I am locked in for 2026. There's a lot of things that I want to do, and as I go through my journey, I'm really working on getting in the best physical shape, financial shape, emotional shape of my life, accomplishing all the things under my PPFF goals. You all saw them right here. It's like, these are my actual goals. These are my actual goals. So these aren't like made up stuff. And you know I did this. My wife know I did this, because if you look under my professional goals, I got 2 twice, and both of them are spelled wrong. So, but these are my actual goals. I want to write my book, buy 2 new cars. I want to secure an income generating real estate and that's personal, financial, professional, is I want to position lifestyles and EQ as brands, the number 1 brands in branding and content creation for corporate and executive brands. I want to establish a content library for all SOPs and team training. I want to establish lifestyles as the employer of choice. Financial is I want 10 million in gross revenues for lifestyle and my real estate business. And I want to have an investment fund of $1 million. And my fitness goals is I want to achieve and maintain 224 pounds at 8% body fat. Something else before we go, very quickly, you want your goals to be SMART, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time bound. And it's important for them to be SMART, because you can't just say I want to lose weight. Like the person who said they want to lose 50 pounds. And so you don't want to just say I want to lose weight or I want to make money. Be very specific, because the more specific your goal is, the easier it is for you to track it, okay? And so, guys, this has been fun. You know, it's a new thing. We are going to be doing lives, and so we started off kind of shaky, but I guarantee you, next month, February, we're going to have a special guest. Kel is going to join me. We're calling it Fit for Love, but every month. And I think we said the 3rd Thursday in every month.
No,
The 2nd Thursday in every month, we'll be going live for an hour. And so feel free to, you know, I guess, what do they say, slide in the DMs? Hit me up in the DMs if you have questions, queries, things that you want us to talk about. My goal is to share my experience, my expertise, my knowledge, and the lessons that I'm learning while I'm learning them with you guys, all right? And so I just want to say thank you so much for being with me today. And thanks to my team. We got Chris here. Chris, say hi to the camera. Put the camera on camera 3. we got Chris, we got Roberto working the handheld, we got Tev, we got me. Roberto, you gotta somebody put the camera on Roberto Roberto put the camera on yourself. But this is our live team, and there's a lot of things that we want to do going forward. But like I said, thanks a lot again for your time and attention. And until next time, get uncomfortable and do the work because the world needs your greatness. Peace.